Have you ever met someone who never tried to impress you? It comes from inner energy. It's about how people feel when they stand next to you. Think about that for a moment. That is the kind of beauty that time can never steal. But the person who truly knows how to listen, they believed that only when your mind becomes, but it changes everything when they simply exist. In a world where everyone is screaming for attention, Marcus Aurelius once wrote that a calm mind is the foundation of inner beauty. When you hold your ground even when no one understands you, not because you're trying to be, that person has become incredibly rare. But the Stoics believed something different. Listening is not just an act of the ears, yet somehow made the entire room feel different just by being there. And here's the truth that changes everything. They remember you because it's built on self-control. When you stay kind even when people ignore you, truly listen, and that rarity makes them deeply attractive. But the meaning hiding behind them, it is a presence of the whole mind. They don't need applause. The ancient Stoics called this inner strength. The Stoics believed that lasting attraction is never built on appearance. When you remain calm after someone criticizes you, peaceful, confident, grounded in real strength. Most of us don't actually listen. Completely still, can you hear not just the words? They don't need compliments. The less you try to be seen, they finally feel a sense of peace. It's in how you respond to life. But because you have become your most authentic, we wait for our turn to speak. He said that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, and then never showed off their achievements. It comes from something far deeper. People don't remember you because you're handsome or beautiful. One real magnetism isn't in how others see you. And today, we live in an age where everyone wants to talk. When someone else is talking, Epictetus once said something very simple yet very powerful. Habit 1. That kind of quiet pull has nothing to do with how they look or what they wear. The more magnetic you actually become, with you emit a frequency that makes others want to trust you and respect you. Habits that will make you magnetic. Everyone wants to share their opinion. Listen only to reply, not to understand. That teaching is not complicated. You never raise their voice, and something about them makes you want to be closer. True attraction isn't about what you force others to notice. When you can stay completely composed while everything around you falls apart, we are going to explore 6 timeless habits from Stoic philosophy. Everyone wants to express themselves. Our mind is already busy preparing what we will say next, so that we may listen more than we speak. When you listen to someone with your full attention, you give them the feeling of being seen, the feeling of being respected. They didn't interrupt you. They didn't rush to give you advice. You feel safe enough to open your heart. They make others feel seen and valued without using a single fancy word. When you stay silent so you can listen, you are not being weak. You don't need to prove yourself. You let your ego step aside so you can truly understand the person in front of you. It radiates a special kind of energy. In a world where everyone tries to speak louder just to get noticed, they can listen becomes, they don't need to try to impress anyone. When you truly listen, you are telling the other person, "Raw, you matter." And that is something every human being deeply longs to feel. When someone speaks to you, set aside all the noise in your mind. Don't judge them. Pay attention to their voice, their eyes, the emotion behind every single word. Listen to understand. Spend a few minutes each day sitting in complete silence. Listen to your fears. Listen even to the silence itself. You will also learn to listen to others with deeper understanding. It comes from the feeling you give others. And in this noisy world, that feeling is worth more than any compliment. Let your eyes speak in place of words. When you can do that, you don't just become someone people like. And that is the deepest kind of magnetism a person can ever have. Cultivate inner peace. It is the magnetism of someone. World around them is in chaos. When others lose control, this person still carries a gentle smile. You give them something more valuable than money or gifts, the feeling of being understood. Think back to the last time you talked to someone who truly listened to you. They didn't glance at their phone, they just sat there, silent, present. And that silence that is the power of a true listener. The Stoics viewed silence as a sign of strength. You are showing powerful self-control. You don't need to win every argument. And that humility? The quiet power of calmness and quiet confidence. The one who chooses silence, the most captivating presence in the room. Their focus and their presence are already magnetic enough. Your story deserves to be heard. To build this habit, start by being fully present in every conversation. Don't prepare a rebuttal, just look at them. Listen not to respond. You can also practice listening to yourself. Notice what your own mind is saying. Listen to your hopes. When you learn to listen to yourself with compassion, real magnetism never comes from the words you speak. A good listener makes people feel seen, so practice the art of listening. Let your silence become a safe space where others can open up. You become someone they seek out for peace. Habit 2. There is a mysterious kind of magnetism that you cannot quite explain. Who stays completely calm, even when other people panic, this person stays composed. There is something about them that makes everyone else feel safe, trusting, drawn in. That is the power of inner peace. In Stoic philosophy, peace does not mean avoiding chaos. That is impossible. Peace means keeping your mind from being swept away by chaos. Marcus Aurelius once wrote that tranquility is the result of living in harmony with reason. The Stoics understood something very important. We cannot control what happens in the world, but we can always control how we respond to it. And when you master that, you become stronger than almost anyone around you. Imagine your mind is like a body of water. When the water is completely still, you can see everything reflected clearly in it. The sky, the trees, the clouds. But when the wind comes and the waves rise, the reflection becomes distorted. You cannot see anything clearly anymore. Your mind works the same way. When it is filled with worry, fear, or anger, you can no longer see the truth of any situation. Only when you learn to calm your mind can you truly see what matters most. Peace is not something you are born with. It is a habit that you train every single day. When you face a stressful situation, pause for just a moment. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself this one question. Is this within my control? If it is, take action. Do something about it. If it is not, let it go. Release it completely. This is the core principle of Stoicism. It is simple, but it is incredibly powerful. The modern world teaches us to react quickly, to perform constantly, to win at all costs. But those who have inner peace choose a different path. They do not react immediately. They observe first. They reflect, and only then do they act. And it is that deliberate calmness that gives them an air of composure, quiet authority and distinction from the noisy crowd. A peaceful person does not need to appear strong. They are strong precisely because they have nothing left to prove. They are not shaken by praise or criticism, not by success or failure. They understand that everything in life is temporary. The only thing that truly endures is how they hold themselves amid life's constant changes. People are naturally drawn to those who are peaceful, the same way a traveler seeks shelter in a storm. They don't need you to solve all their problems. They just need to feel safe in your presence. And that ability, the power to make others feel at peace, is one of the highest forms of attraction a person can ever possess. To cultivate this peace, you do not need to run away from the world. You just need to step away from the thoughts that disturb you. Spend a little time alone each day. No social media, no loud music, no noise. Just sit quietly. Breathe. Let every thought pass without judging it. The more you practice this, the calmer your mind will become. When you are truly at peace, you don't need to say very much. Other people can feel it in your eyes, in the way you walk, in every breath you take. True peace cannot be faked. It only comes from those who have learned to master themselves. And when you can stand steady in the middle of chaos and still carry a gentle smile, that is when you are not just magnetic. That is when you become truly admirable. Habit 3. Speak with purpose. There are some people who only need to speak a few words, and the entire room falls silent. Not because they speak loudly, not because they shout, but because their words carry real weight. Meanwhile, there are others who talk endlessly for hours, yet no one truly listens to anything they say. The difference is not in the voice. The difference is in intention. The Stoics believe that every single word you speak carries power. Words can heal, but words can also hurt deeply. That is why wise people choose to speak less, but they speak with clear purpose. Epictetus once taught his students to either remain silent or let their words be worth more than the silence they break. For the Stoics, speaking is an act of consciousness, not a reaction. They do not speak to win arguments. They do not speak to impress others. They speak only when necessary. And when they do speak, their words carry clarity, calmness, and complete sincerity. That is the kind of language that makes people lean in and listen, not because you force them to, but because they can feel the truth in everything you say. A person who speaks with purpose has no need to prove themselves. They understand that silence can sometimes be far more powerful than 1,000 rushing words. When you know exactly when to speak and when to stay silent, you are demonstrating inner control, and that is the very foundation of dignity and magnetism according to the Stoics. In an age where everyone rushes to express their opinion online and offline, your calmness becomes a light that stands out against the noise. When you slow down and think before you speak, other people can sense that you are not talking just to fill the silence. You are speaking to add real value. And because of that, every word you say is valued more deeply. Notice that the people you admire the most are rarely the ones who talk the most. They are the ones who make you think long after they have finished speaking. A single well-timed, well-chosen word can shift someone's entire emotional state. It can even change the direction of their whole day. But a careless or thoughtless word? That can wound someone in ways that may never be fully undone. Speaking with purpose is also a reflection of your honesty. If your words do not match your actions, people will sense it immediately. But when what you say perfectly aligns with what you do, you earn not just trust but deep respect. The Stoics taught this clearly. Do not talk about calmness, live it. Words carry real weight only when they are proven by the way you actually live your life. And do not forget this. The way you speak to yourself matters even more than how you speak to others. Harsh self-criticism, constant comparison to others, and silent judgment of yourself are conversations that quietly wound your own heart. Instead, learn to speak to yourself with kindness and patience. When you know how to speak gently to your own heart, you will naturally speak to the world with compassion and quiet confidence. A persuasive speaker may impress others for a short moment, but a purposeful speaker leaves a lasting mark on everyone they meet. True magnetism in speech does not come from the sound of your voice. It comes from the state of your mind. When you speak with calmness, sincerity, and wisdom, your words will echo far beyond any noise. So speak less, but make every single word count. Let your silence carry weight, and let your words be an extension of your inner peace. When you speak with purpose, you don't just make others listen, you make them truly respect you. Habit 4. Face adversity with courage. No one goes through life without facing hardship. Everyone, no matter how strong they appear, has days when they feel hurt, betrayed, or broken by something they once believed in with all their heart. But here is the truth. It is the way you face those difficult moments that truly defines who you are. And that is also what makes you deeply and irresistibly magnetic. True magnetism does not come from the smile you wear when everything is going well. It comes from the calm you maintain when everything is falling apart. A person who can stay composed in the middle of a storm, who speaks gently even when their heart is raging inside, that is the kind of person others never forget. Because in them we see what every human being is searching for: inner strength, The Stoics believe that adversity is not your enemy, it is your teacher. Marcus Aurelius once wrote that you should turn every obstacle into the way forward. Every hardship is actually an opportunity to strengthen your character. Just as iron only becomes sharp after being forged in intense fire, a person only becomes truly strong after being tested by real challenges. Resilience does not mean you never feel pain. Of course you feel it. Resilience means you do not let the pain define who you are. You may fall down, but then you rise again, calmer, stronger, wiser. That is the spirit of true resilience, the ability to recover after hardship, the quiet magnetism of those who have walked through terrible storms, and yet still keep a warm heart. When you face hardship, do not ask, "Why is this happening to me?" That question keeps you stuck as a victim. Instead ask, "What is this trying to teach me?" That single question transforms you from a victim into a student. And the one who can learn from pain is someone who can never truly be defeated. There is a famous concept in Stoic philosophy called amor fati. It means love your fate. The Stoics did not just accept what happened to them, they embraced it completely. They saw every difficulty as an essential part of their growth. When you learn to love even the imperfect and painful moments of your life, you realize that adversity does not make you weaker. It teaches you to become more resilient, more profound, more grounded in every breath you take. A person of true strength never needs to announce their strength. Their silence in the face of hardship is proof enough. They do not complain. They do not blame others. They do not seek pity. They simply stand up, brush the dust off their shoulders, and keep walking forward. And that image, simple yet unbreakable, is what makes them more magnetic than anything else in this world. Remember this: others may never know exactly what you have endured, but they will feel the strength in your eyes,
the calm in your voice,
the quiet confidence in the way you live your daily life. When you can smile in the face of adversity and still choose to move forward, that is when you are not just strong, that is when you are truly admirable. Habit 5. Value integrity over approval. One of the main reasons people lose their natural magnetism is because they try too hard to please everyone around them. They say what others want to hear. They do what others expect from them. They live by the standards of the crowd. And slowly, over time, they forget who they really are. But here is the irony. The more you try to be liked by everyone, the more forgettable you actually become. Yet when you live truthfully according to your own deepest values, even those who do not like you will still respect you. The Stoics believed that living by principle matters far more than being liked by anyone. Marcus Aurelius once said something very freeing. He said that if what you're doing is right, you should not concern yourself with what other people think. People may praise you today and criticize you tomorrow, but integrity never changes. It is the compass that keeps you steady amid the storms of opinions, judgments, and social pressure. Integrity is having the courage to live truthfully even when it is not easy. It is saying no to something that goes against your values even if it disappoints others. It is being honest even when silence would feel safer. And the beautiful thing is this: a person of integrity never needs to announce their integrity. They show it through their actions, through their eyes, through the way they treat others. You may have gone through a time in your life when you tried very hard to be accepted. You changed your voice. You changed your style. You even changed your beliefs just to be liked by a certain group. But eventually you realize that other people's approval does not bring real peace, because it depends on something you can never fully control. When you let your emotions be defined by how others see you, you will never feel like you are enough. A truly magnetic person is not someone who is loved by everyone. That is impossible. A magnetic person is someone who is respected for their consistency. They do not change just to receive praise. They do not compromise just to feel safe. They do what is right, even when no one stands with them. And that consistency radiates a powerful energy. An energy that commands attention even from those who disagree with you. Stoicism teaches that a person's worth does not come from praise or recognition. It comes from virtue, Seneca once wrote that no man can live happily who is a slave to the opinion of others. When you stop chasing approval, you finally begin to find yourself. And when you find yourself, you become magnetic in a way that no one can ever imitate. Integrity does not make you cold or distant. It makes you trustworthy. Others may not always agree with you, but they will know that you will never be deceitful. They may not share your values, but they will understand that you will never betray yourself. That is why people of integrity are often the ones others turn to when they need honest advice, a steady shoulder, or a reliable source of good energy. Of course, living truthfully is not always easy. At times you will feel lonely. You will be misunderstood. You may even be labeled as difficult. But remember this: being temporarily isolated is far better than permanently losing yourself. Those who leave you because you choose to live authentically were never meant to stay in your life. And those who remain, they stay because of who you truly are, not the version you pretend to be. In time, you will realize that integrity carries a quiet kind of magnetism. It does not need to be displayed or explained. It simply makes others admire you silently because deep down, they know you are someone they can trust. Remember this: true light does not need to prove that it shines. It simply does, and the darkness disappears on its own. The same is true for people. When you live according to your values, you do not have to seek recognition. You become the very source of light that others are naturally drawn toward. Habit 6. Focus on growth, not perfection. So many people are obsessed with perfection. We want to speak without making any mistakes. We want to act without any errors. We want to live without any failure. But here is the truth that sets you free. The more you chase perfection, the further you drift away from your real self. Perfection is an illusion. It does not exist. Growth is the real path. A truly magnetic person is not someone who is flawless. A truly magnetic person is someone who never stops improving. The Stoics never sought perfection. They understood that life is a continuous process of learning, and that mistakes are not just possible, they are inevitable. Marcus Aurelius once wrote that if you fall, you must get up and keep moving forward. That is the real victory. In Stoic philosophy, failure is not the end. It is part of the training. Just as your muscles only grow after experiencing physical pain and effort, your mind only matures after facing its own wounds and difficulties. There is something very curious about perfection. Those who try the hardest to appear flawless often make others feel distant and uncomfortable. But those who dare to admit their flaws, those who share their unfinished journey openly, they inspire us because they are real. They remind us that we do not have to be mistake-free to be valuable. We just need the courage to learn from our mistakes. True magnetism does not come from doing everything right. It comes from never stopping your growth. Someone who is on a genuine journey of self. Improvement radiates a special kind of energy, humility, persistence, authenticity. They do not boast. They do not compare themselves to others. They do not compete. They know they are not perfect, but they strive every single day to become a slightly better version of themselves, and that makes them likable, admirable, and unforgettable. Think of someone who is patient with themselves. They do not punish themselves for making mistakes. They see every mistake as a lesson. They do not collapse after failure. They ask, "What is this teaching me?" They understand that every fall is a chance to be refined, and every scar is proof of a brave life fully lived. Stoicism teaches that happiness does not come from perfection. It comes from living rationally and continually strengthening your character one day at a time. When you focus on growth, you stop fearing mistakes. You become more open, more flexible, and more gentle with yourself. You do not need to be your best version today. Just be a little better than you were yesterday. That is more than enough. The magic is this: when you stop trying to be perfect, you become genuine. And that is when you start attracting others naturally, because everyone is tired of pretending. Everyone is tired of wearing the masks that society demands. When you dare to live honestly, even imperfectly, you create space for other people to do the same. And that is the deepest kind of human connection. So do not fear mistakes. Do not be ashamed to admit that you are still learning. Instead of asking yourself, "Am I perfect yet?" ask yourself this: "Am I improving from yesterday?" Each day, with a little more patience, a little more discipline, and a little more faith in the process, you will see change happening, not in huge leaps, but in steady, authentic steps. In the end, the most magnetic person is not the one who has reached the final destination. It is the one who keeps walking with steady eyes, an open heart, and an ever-learning spirit, because they understand that life does not require perfection. It only requires progress. And if there is one thing Stoic philosophy always reminds us, it is this: you cannot control the outcome, but you can always control your effort. Focus on the journey, not the destination. Because in that journey of growth, you do not just become stronger, you become magnetic in a way that no outward beauty can ever match. When you look back on this entire journey, you will realize that true magnetism has never come from appearance, or words or status. It comes from the peace, self-mastery, and honesty that you radiate every single day. The 6 Stoic habits we explored together: listening deeply, cultivating inner calm, speaking with purpose, facing adversity with courage, valuing integrity over approval, and focusing on growth instead of perfection. These habits do not just make you more magnetic in the eyes of others, they help you rediscover yourself. Because when you truly master yourself, you no longer need to prove anything to anyone. You no longer chase approval because you finally understand that real worth is not found in other people's eyes. It is found in the deep respect you hold for yourself. A person with inner strength is not someone who is always right. It is someone who is calm enough to recognize their mistakes, correct them, and continue to grow. Marcus Aurelius once wrote that nothing brings peace to the soul except being true to yourself. When you live that way, your magnetism is no longer something you have to create or manufacture. It becomes the natural result of how you live. Other people will feel that strength in your eyes, in the way you listen, in the quiet consistency of your actions. So if this video resonated with you, leave a comment that says, "I choose growth." Let it be a reminder that you choose progress over perfection. You choose peace over performance. You choose to become the truest and best version of yourself. Hit the like button, share this video with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to Winds of Thought so we can continue this journey together, building the kind of inner strength that makes a person both captivating and deeply respected in this noisy world. Because in the end, the most enduring kind of magnetism does not come from making people look at you. It comes from making them feel completely at peace when they are near you.